Good morning, it's Monday morning, it's a Zento sales snippet. My name's Mike Warren, thank you for joining me. Now firstly, thanks to all the people who said, where have you been? You haven't been there for the last couple of weeks, we haven't got our Zento sales snippet, we've missed you. And apologies because I went away. We went to New Zealand to visit the relatives, because when you marry a Kiwi, you got to go home and visit the bros and cousins occasionally. So thanks to those who missed me, and I promise that we will continue the Zento sales snippet every Monday morning, and it'll continue on an ongoing basis. And for those a couple of people out there who said, well, I thought you pre-recorded them, so why did they stop? Obviously not pre-recorded because I've got the Wallabies top on. And we all know what's happening this weekend. It's the big Wallabies All Blacks clash. And fingers crossed if everything goes to plan, I'll be able to wear this next Monday because we would have won the game. Or if Ali's plan happens, I'll be waving the All Blacks flag because I'll be an All Black next Monday. Either way, we're here. Monday morning, a little bit of housekeeping because over the next couple of weeks I'm trying to clear the database of people who don't want bullfed every Monday morning. So if I'm emailing you and said, do you want this Zento snippet, please let me know so I can put you on the database because we're closing down some of the old names and numbers in the next few weeks and I don't want you to miss out. Now today, we're talking a little bit about having your sales process adapted to the learning styles of your prospective member. After a little bit of travel and working with some clients in New Zealand, it came to mind that still, even though we look at different ways our prospects learn, we need to make sure that our sales process and our sales tools address the needs of the prospect. So let's go back to square one. I've only got 3 minutes. I'm going to make this really quick, and I'm going to invite you to email me if you want details of where this thinking comes from. There are 3 learning styles. There is a visual learning style. There is an auditory learning style. Guess who that is? Blah! And there is a kinesthetic learning style. The visual people like to learn by seeing things, by visualizing, by colors, by brochures, by written information. The auditory people like to learn by the spoken word. They like to hear it. They like discussions. They like sounds. They like music. Now the kinesthetic people, they like to learn by touching and by doing, and they're actively involved in the learning process. Your prospects are made up of a mixture of visuals, a mixture of auditories, and a mixture of kinesthetics. Here's the problem. Some of our sales processes tend to be designed by people with one learning style, but the general public have a multitude of learning styles. We know that visual people make up at least half the population. We know that auditory people make up about 1/3 of the population, and we know that kinesthetics make about 20-25% of the population. So my advice to you, my suggestion, is to make sure you have a fresh look at your sales system to make sure you identify, is it adapted to all learning styles? Let's look at the first one, visual people. So I'm a visual prospect. That's about half the population. A visual prospect will walk in the front door of your building, whether you're a golf club, a health club, a personal training studio. They'll walk in the front door and they'll make a buying decision based on what they learn visually. What they see outside, how the front door appears, the brochures, the stickers, the things they see around the building, they will make a buying decision based on visual information. When you sit down and start the sales process, the documentation you use, the visual appearance of that documentation will have a huge impact on the yes or the no. So does it appeal to the visual learner? Then as you tour me through the brochures, the information, the flyers, the visual learners will need to be impressed and need to see colours, need to see pictures, need to be visually stimulated by the information you give me. On the tour, a visual person needs to be shown everything. They need to see the training area, see the group fitness area, see all the areas of your centre. So the tour needs to be designed to be visually appealing. Then when you come back and give me prices, it's got to be visual again. The information's got to be clear and concise visually. You may chat as well, but the visual impact is the most important. So the first tip I'm going to ask you is have a look through your documented and defined sales process, because I know you got one of them, and make sure it is visually appealing to that 50% of the market. Then think about the auditories, the bullheads like me who love to make noise. Auditories make up around about 35 to 40% of the population. We've all got a bit of it, but there's some really strong auditory people out there who, when they walk in the front door, they're first impact is happening in the ear. They're starting to listen to the music, the discussion, the voice. So the sales process needs to be geared towards auditory people as well. Is there clear, concise explanation? When you're sitting down and chatting to me, are you using the words at the same tempo, with the same timbre, with the speed, the volume, the vocals that I need to make me stimulated verbally? Now here's a big one. When you tour me through, are you just showing me the centre, or are you explaining it to me clearly? Are you introducing me to other members or other staff so that I can hear some explanation from them verbally? Just showing me is not going to help. An auditory person needs the verbal discussion as well. When you come back and when you give me the prices, don't just write it down and show me visually. Make sure the verbal explanation or the verbal discussion is absolutely clear. Now, if you're not an auditory person, this may not make sense to you, but think about poor old me who comes in, I need the verbal. And then the last group, which is about 25%, are the kinesthetic people. They best learn by doing, by touching and feeling. They walk in the door, they feel the ambience. They feel the energy, they're very in tune with feelings. When you're touring them through, a kinesthetic person is best sold by touching and doing and participating and trying the activity. So when you're designing your sales process, make sure there is some kinesthetic learning touch points. Put me on a piece of equipment. Give me some activity. Let me touch and feel the activities that you're trying to sell me. And a kinesthetic person will understand the sales process. They'll learn the sales process and they will be sold the product. So here's your takeaway for today. You've got a defined sales process. I know you have. I know it's documented. Now I want you to go back and have a good look at it and make sure that it's visually appealing, it's verbally appealing, and it's kinesthetically appealing. Or did the person put it together have one preferred learning style and it matches that person only? Have a good look at it, make sure all your prospects are stimulated evenly, and then the sales process will do the best possible result for you. That's today's Zento. It's a pause there, wasn't it? That's today's Zento sales snippet. It's Wallabies this Saturday, unless the All Blacks get up and win. Sorry to my Kiwi friends. And I'll see you all back here next Monday for another Zento sales snippet. Have a great week. Cheers.